Addiction is defined as, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, chronic relapsing disorder characterized by the compulsive drug seeking and use despite adverse consequences. Considered a brain disorder, it involves functional changes to brain circuits. It is involved in reward, stress, and self-control. These changes can be lifelong. So why do people do drugs? To feel good. Drugs can produce intense feelings of pleasure. This initial euphoria is followed by the other effects, which differ with the type of drug used. To feel better. Some people who suffer from social anxiety, stress, and depression start using drugs to feel less anxious. Stress can play a major role in starting and continuing drug use, as well as relapse return to drug use in patients recovering from addiction. To do better. Some people feel pressure to improve their focus in school or at work, or at their abilities in sports. Lastly, curiosity and social pressure. Teens are particularly at risk because peer pressure can be very strong. Adolescence is a developmental period. Risk factors, as they can see their peers do drugs, they will have an inclinations to substance abuse. This website, Just Think Twice, has someone's story about addiction. Ashley Jones is a long-term recovery addict. For her, she has not used drinking or drugs since April 13th, 2013. She was born out of two recovering persons with substance abuse disorder, and she began using drugs as a young teenager. When her father committed suicide when she was 17, she lost all hope. As a young adult, she reached recovery. While in recovery, she was able to go to school and graduate at the top of her class with her bachelor's and master's degree. She has a career in addiction treatment, and she's also a lifelong learner on an endless spiritual journey with the primary purpose of advocacy, education, and the advancement of people in recovery.
Let's talk about the facts. Did you know 75% of all high school have used addictive substances such as cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, or cocaine? More than 90% of people with substance problems began using before the age of 18. Rehab is the hardest part for most addicts because relapsing can always occur both during or after rehab. 44% of all referrals to a public-funded addiction treatment come from the justice system, while less than 6% comes from healthcare providers.
In order to lose an addiction, one must follow these simple steps. Identifying triggers helps avoid things that might end up making someone want to go back to their addiction. Reaching out and asking for help is a big step forward and goes to show that the person is acknowledging what they are doing
is not good and they seek change. Keeping not only the mind busy but the body to helps not reminisce the drugs and that high.
When it comes to fighting any addiction, we must first realize that addiction is a disease. Disease without an 100% effective cure. But that does not mean there are no ways to fight addiction, and there are no ways to eventually overcome it. The first step in fighting addiction is admitting to yourself and to others that there is a problem and that you have a problem. This will allow you to try and get out there and get the help you need. Some resources that can be used to fight addiction are rehabilitation centers, drug abuse treatment centers, as well as free addiction counseling centers. All of these places are great resources that will help you get on the right track to overcoming addiction and will challenge you to make the first or the next step in the process, whichever step that may be. Another resource that is free and available to everyone is the SAMHSA National Hotline. All it takes is just one call to get free confidential help from health agencies all across the country. But none of these resources can be used, once again, like I said, if you do not first admit that you need help. No one can force you to do any of the things. No one can force you to go anywhere to try to fight addiction. You just need to admit it to yourself. Along with the professional help, there are a couple other things that you can do to try to find a solution to addiction, like changing your environment. This can be where you live, the people you hang out with, or even the activities you choose to engage in your free time. Another effective approach you can try to use to fight addiction is to find a network of people that want to help you and want to see you find a cure to addiction. If you have an endless amount of people there for you and an endless amount of support, you will be more motivated to beat this and to do it for the people that care about you. If you try to fight it and it fails, think about what made you fail and go at it again.
One successful and reliable resource is the Phoenix Rescue Mission, which was founded in 1952 by Leroy Davidson and is now owned by Ken Brissa. This organization focuses on offering Christ-centered aids and solutions to homelessness, drug addiction, and trauma. And there are 2 ways in which the Phoenix Rescue Mission does so. So the first stage is short-term care, where people who struggle with addiction are placed in the Rescue Assess program, which involves a short stay at the residential crisis intervention and a meeting with a case manager to help you determine which program is best for you. The second stage is the recovery program, which is a bit more extensive. It's a year-long program that encourages transformation by providing specific and individualized care for each person. It provides a path to recovery and freedom from addiction. So the Phoenix Rescue Mission just walks clients through the process of recovery according to the Bible, and teaches them how to grow closer to God and further away from temptation, not just away from addiction, but just deeper in their walk with God.